What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a new video. Today we gonna talk about the All NBA teams. This year was a little bit more difficult because of a lot of injuries to players like Paul Millsap, DeMarcus Cousins, Jimmy Butler missed a lot of time, Chris Paul missed a lot of time, and it can be tough making this list, but it's no right or wrong answer. We all got our own opinions, just like the voters. Somebody might think somebody better than the other or had a better season. Certain players got arguments because of records. Certain players got argument just because of stats. So there is no perfect answer. I'm just gonna tell you what I think. And if you disagree, you disagree. If you agree, like the video, or you just like the video because you enjoyed it, that helps too. For the guards, all NBA first honorable mentions. Um, Jimmy Butler, because he missed too many games. Victor Oladipo, they in the playoffs, but it's players that's putting up better numbers and have a more successful year. Bradley Beal was a guy that became an all-star, carried the team for majority of the ending of the season. And they still in the playoff race, and they actually in the top five in the East. Devin Booker, he put up numbers, but his team didn't win, and he's missing the last couple weeks too, so I couldn't put him in there. Um, and obviously, this list is gonna be brutal. But let's get into it. I think that's about it. First team, I want to start with the third team. This one was hard because of Chris Paul um, missing so many games in the beginning of the season. But if you put up, I'm gonna go Kyrie just because he is the best player on the Celtics and he has helped them. His efficiency is 49, 40, and almost 90. He's giving you 24 points a game. He's not giving you as much assists as a Chris Paul, but he is scoring significantly more points and he is the best player on that team. And honestly, it was difficult because I am a Chris Paul guy, but I couldn't put him over Kyrie just this season. That don't mean Chris Paul is not better than Kyrie. It's just Kyrie had an unbelievable season, and he has been efficient as the best player on the team while still being offensively dominant and taking over 4 quarters every once in a while. DeMar DeRozan, I wanted him to be higher, but I couldn't do it. He's averaging more points than Oladipo, and his team is more successful than Oladipo, and he's putting up around the same numbers, but he's doing it on a better team and as the best player. LaMarcus Aldridge and Paul George, I wanted to put somebody else on here, but LaMarcus, if they make the playoffs, he has took over these last 2 weeks, basically forcing the San Antonio Spurs to win, especially the last 3 games, coming in clutch for them. Plus, he been carrying them all season. And Kawhi Leonard, I don't even believe he played 10 games, and they still have a chance to make it in the top 6. And it was number 3 all year in the Western Conference, the toughest conference. They fell out later that year. I mean, later as the year went on, they fell out. But LaMarcus has been as consistent as he has ever been. Paul George, obviously, he had to fight to get into the All-Star game, but he's one of the better two-way players, one of the better three-point shooters, and OKC, they're winning. So he got the wins. He is an All-Star. He's putting up numbers. And Jokic, even if they don't make the playoffs, I didn't really see that many centers that even had an argument. He's a well-rounded center. He's versatile, can pass, can post up, can shoot, stretch out the floor to the three-point line, pick and roll ace, and he can knock down free throws too. Second team, video game Dame. I put him as I'm not a big Damian Lillard person, but he has had an MVP season. I said that on my last couple of videos. I'm not a Dame Lillard guy, but what he has done this year warrants some type of praise. If he's not gonna get the MVP, which he shouldn't, at least give him an All NBA second team for the spectacular numbers. But he put up good numbers last year. The biggest difference is he's a better playmaker to me. The assists don't really show it, but to me, he has been a better team player, a better shot creator, while still getting his 25 to 30. Not only that, his team went from barely making the playoffs. Remember, the last couple years, they have made the playoffs and make a late run at the end of the season. This year, they was in the playoffs the whole season. and they was able to make a late run to get to the third seed. You have to give them credit for winning. Something that Portland struggled to do. They was a 6, 7, or 8, barely making it, barely fighting at the end of the day to get a playoff spot. This time they did it the right way. They stayed consistent. They stayed in the playoffs and made a run by the end of the season to basically clinch the third seed, because it's going to be hard for them to fall out, but it still is possible. But a third seed, I've never seen Portland doing that this year, and you have to attribute it to CJ, Nurkic, and the rest of their role players for stepping up. But most importantly, Video Game Dame for closing games and keeping his teammates involved. Second, Westbrook. I'm not a Westbrook guy, but he might average a triple double again. Obviously, it hurted him yesterday that he only got 8 and 7. But if he can average another 25-point triple double, his team is in the playoffs. He's stuffing the stat sheet and they're winning games. So Russell second. For the forwards, I got Yanni. He started off the season with explosion, averaging over 30 points a game. He has slowly fell off every month, but he's still been giving you 20 and 10 damn near the whole year, plus 3 to 4 to 5 assists, giving you 2 blocks, 2 steals a lot of the time. He plays hard. He wants to win. He wants to be a good defender. He wants to block shots. He wants to play in the passing lane. He just have that personality of, I can take anything, I can do anything I want to, and nobody in the NBA can stop it. And I like that. Even when I'm watching the All-Star game with him 2 years ago, he's playing hard. He's getting dunks. He's getting steals. He's running the floor. He's active. And people say that Russell Westbrook he never stops. I think Giannis does the same thing. Giannis is always in attack mode. He's always moving. He's always doing something. And he has the athleticism, the length, and the size, and the agility to damn near do everything on the court, and he has been doing that. His jump shot has improved because he's hitting fadeaway jumpers now. He's hitting spot up jumpers now. He's more confident in his 3-ball. He's still finishing in the paint. He's still getting the dunks. He's still getting the layups, and he's still getting out in transition. But he became a more versatile scorer, and he's averaging the most points of his career. And the sky is the limit. Anthony Davis, he was all NBA first team to me, but I couldn't put him at the center position. So instead, I put him at the forward position, and I think is 2 other forwards that had a better season than him. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard not playing this year helped too, because I feel like Kawhi Leonard was my MVP, but it's going to James Harden. But Anthony Davis is one of the top 5 players in the league, if not top 6 or 7. I have him in my top 5. He's a do-it-all player like Giannis, but he's just a better scorer. He can do a little bit more, and he has better shot selection. But I like Anthony Davis. I like this guy. Center Karl-Anthony Towns became an all-star. His team looks like they're on pace to make the playoffs. If they do, he's the second best player on that team. But the only reason why Jimmy Butler didn't make it was not just because of injuries, but because it's not really that many superstar centers. And I'm not going to give Karl-Anthony Towns a superstar status yet, but he can give you 30 and 10 mostly every game. 25 to 30 every game, and he's going to get you about 10 boards or more. He's still learning. He still needs to be a better concept team player. He still needs to become a better defender. He still needs to become a better playmaker in the post and trusting his teammates a little bit more. Other than that, Karl-Anthony Towns, he's young. He's hungry. He wants to improve. He's a sponge for the game. He's a student of the game. And he's showing that every damn season. And this is another season. He got credit this year getting the All-Star game, and he should get credit if they make the playoffs. Even if they don't, he has been the second best center in the league. For the first teams, this is where the argument's going to start, but I'm willing to back up my side of the story. James Harden, if you're the MVP, you should be first team. He has been spectacular. The funniest thing about James Harden to me is that he do the same shit. He just dribble, blow past you, dribble, draw a foul, dribble, step back, 3, and he do it the whole damn game. He do the same damn thing all game. Dribble, shoot up a 3, dribble, get to the paint, dribble, get a foul, and nobody can stop it. I was watching the Portland game yesterday, and I'm just laughing. Like, he just did the same ball handling move every possession he had the ball, and nobody on the team could stop him. The coach knows it's coming. The coach knows what he's trying to do, and nobody can stop him from doing the same damn thing every possession. And the fact that he got 42 points doing the same shit, and they won the game, and he hit some big shots in that fourth quarter doing the same shit, show you how valuable and important James Harden is to that Rockets team. Second is Curry. I know that's arguable, but he has been more efficient than a lot of people. He's on pace to be 50, 40, and 90. He's still giving you 26 points a game. His team is still second in the Western Conference, and it looks like they're going to stay. They have an unbelievable record. They had a great season. He had got injured. He tweaked that ankle, but being efficient, being scoring more than Russ, being way more efficient than Russ is the difference. LeBron obviously had an MVP caliber season. His team just not winning as much as the Warriors. His team not winning as much as Kyrie or Toronto, and not even Houston. So he not gonna go away with it. He not gonna come home with the MVP, but he still is one of the All NBA first team centers. I mean forwards, and then you got Kevin Durant. He's been injured a little bit this season, but he's on pace for 50, 40, and 90, and he's giving you 26, 7, and 5 with efficiency numbers like that. Joel Embiid, which is a surprise because I'm not a big Joel Embiid guy, but he's been giving you 20 and 10 every night. He's a better defender than Jokic. He's a better defender than Towns. He can give you 20 and 10 like Jokic and Towns, and he can get you blocks and steals that they don't really do consistently, but he does it every night. So he's the better two-way player in the fact that he can still give you 20 and 10 without sacrificing really anything. He's not as good as a three-point shooter as those guys, but he is a significantly better defender. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who y'all are NBA teams? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Is I'm sleeping on Chris Paul? Is I'm sleeping on Jimmy? Is I'm sleeping on Victor? Is I'm sleeping on Booker? What about Bradley Beal? What about Chris Paul? Let me know in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm gone. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. I'm gone.